This is the government news brief for Tuesday, December 2015. I am Azim Khan. In the news, the government is looking for a permanent fix to the Georgetown drainage problems and schools' PTAs to be resuscitated. These stories and more in this edition of the government news brief. On World AIDS Day, observed today, December 1, Guyana can say it has done remarkably well in combating HIV/AIDS. Shivani Rampasad reports.
As Guyana joins the rest of the world in celebrating World AIDS Day 2015, the country can proudly boast of significant success in the fight against the disease. According to Dr. Edward Green, the United Nations Secretary General Special Envoy for HIV in the Caribbean, the country has made great strides in a number of areas, especially in creating greater access to treatment for Guyanese. Information provided has shown that in 2001, only 7 to 8% of the HIV/AIDS population was having access to treatment. However, the 2012 statistics have shown remarkable progress.
When we compare the Guyana's status in prevalence, HIV prevalence in 2000 with 2015, I think that remarkable progress has been made. In fact, in 2001, you had about 7 to 8% of persons living with AIDS on treatment, and according to the figures for 2012, you have approximately 49% to 50% of the people living with AIDS. Although we need to increase that number, the remarkable progress is what I wanted to point out.
Guyana has also recorded a 70% reduction in deaths from HIV/AIDS over the past 15 years.
You have a major reduction in deaths from HIV in Guyana over the past 15 years. I mean, some 70% reduction in deaths. But most important, I think that you have something to celebrate in that Guyana is one of those countries in the Caribbean that could presently declare that it has eliminated mother-to-child transmission for HIV/AIDS.
However, the country's biggest achievement remains its Prevention of Mother-to-Child Transmission, PMTCT, program.
As you know, the world would like to eliminate mother-to-child transmission. And to do so, they have to reduce the infections from the mother to the child. And this involves ensuring that mothers access treatment. So, yes, Guyana has been doing very well.
A survey is expected to be done in a few months' time to determine definitely whether Guyana has completely eliminated the mother-to-child transmission, so the country can be officially certified. For the Government News Brief, Shivani Rampasad reporting.
The government is looking for a permanent solution to the city's drainage problems. This involves a review of reports compiled over the years, consultations with various experts, and involving local and international stakeholders. Shanta Gobanan reports.
The recent assessment of the city's drainage and irrigation system by the Dutch engineers is supplementing the work of the Restore Guyana National Task Force, which at the end of its work will provide a definitive plan on the way forward for drainage and urban rehabilitation.
The DRR team will be providing us a report. The final report should be in by December the 15th. Our options which we can consider to see if we can actually increase the drainage capacity, not only the drainage capacity in discharging the water, as they made it very clear, we can do things to retain the water. So what we mean, instead of what we mean, if we can have a reservoir that the water goes to, so that we don't have to overburden the system to try to pump off all 4 inches of water immediately in one day.
With the coalition government taking office in the height of Guyana's rainy season, immediate interventions had to be made to alleviate flooding and ensure water was drained off the land quickly. Government organized its interventions, which brought some relief to the affected areas.
The interventions that we are doing now cannot stop flooding in Georgetown. The interventions that we're doing now is to try to minimize it in the sense of the length of time that the water stays on in the residents in the area. The current system is geared to take off 100 mm, or say 2.5 inches in 24 hours. And that's if it's working perfectly. Everyone knows it is not working perfectly. But what we're doing is interventions to ensure that in the minimum possible time that this existing system can accommodate, we will get the water, remove the water off of the flooded area.
Alberton, Queenstown, and Sobrianville have long been identified as basin areas and where the residents are mostly affected. However, clearing of canals in the Sobrianville area is expected to commence shortly, as a contract will soon be awarded for these works. Interventions are also planned and will be implemented in the short to long term for the Alberton and Queenstown areas. For this government news brief, I am Shanti Goberdan reporting.
Over $76 million in presidential grant has been paid out for 2015. Through the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, $76.5 million was disbursed to 208 hinterland communities. The disbursement was done between April and November and will continue until the end of the year. A number of communities are still to uplift their 2013-2014 grants. The presidential grant projects provides contribution up to $5 million to hinterland communities to implement income-generating projects. Some of these plans include ecotourism, sewing centers, agricultural ventures, and purchases of transportation and equipment. The project was not included in the 2015 national budget due to its late presentation in the year. It is catered for in the 2016 national budget, and it is expected to benefit over 204 Amerindian communities. The government is working to resuscitate parent-teachers associations in all schools. It has been recognized that these associations have a critical role to play in the effective running of schools, especially in helping with the level of discipline that obtains in a classroom. Paul McAdam reports.
The Ministry of Education is moving to have parents play a greater role in the education of their children. One of the key factors in this effort is the revitalization of parent-teachers associations. This is completely crucial, according to Minister of Education, Dr. Rupert Rupnarine.
If we're going to get the kind of environment that we are aiming for, I think the PTAs have to be fully partnering us in this process. The parents are key. And my own feeling is that we need not only to activate every single PTA in every single school, but we need to have, as we have a school board secretariat, we need to have a national secretariat for the PTA program.
The minister added that given some of the constraints facing the education system, there has to be some reliance on assistance from the PTAs. He spoke of the desire to reintroduce flag raising at morning assemblies for all schools.
When you think about the number of schools that we're going to require, mounts for these flagpoles and the actual poles and so on, it's quite a lot, and it's a burden I'm really asking the PTA to share. Ask a PTA, let PTA be responsible for producing, for organizing a flagpole for their schools so the children can raise the golden arrowhead every day.
The revitalized parent-teachers associations will result in more parents actually paying attention to what their children do and learn in schools. This is seen by educators as a major factor in not only the education of students, but also in helping to maintain discipline as they learn.
Developmental projects in East Berbice County in Region 6 are over 60% completed. These projects are expected to benefit hundreds of residents in the ancient county. Details in this report.
The projects, which form part of the Regional Democratic Council's Capital Work Program for 2015, will benefit residents from New Amsterdam to Molson Creek. The projects are valued at over $200 million.
The capital project for this year, we have for all the civil works, 100% have been awarded. The works are, as you saw today, some of the works ongoing. And while the work is ongoing, we are responsible for preparation of payments, interim payments, and however, we cannot expend money unless we know that we get the quality of work done and before we issue payments.
Residents of Region 6 can be assured that they are getting value for money, as contractors are not only being paid at the completion of their individual projects, but also after satisfactory inspection and clearance by the regional administration.
We still got 6-7 weeks actually to complete these things, but it will finish providing that we get the weather as we do now, the work will finish.
The region's 2016 budget will focus on drainage and irrigation in the region, as this was identified as crucial to the further advancement of the agricultural sector. Continuous roads and community enhancement projects will also be done. For the Government News Brief, I am Shanta Goberdan reporting.
That has brought us to the end of the Government News Brief for Tuesday, December 1, 2015. All our programs can be viewed on our website. You can also find us on Facebook and on YouTube. We leave you with our Guyana Nice photo of the day. Send us yours.